Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by JL Financial Solutions. If you're an Albertan looking to plan your financial future, you want someone you can trust. Together with Sun Life's estate and financial planning services, JL Financial Solutions will develop a plan you can be confident in to grow and protect your wealth. Give Jonathan Lambert and his team a call at 780-733-0910. Back to the conference final, the Edmonton Oilers are heading. Never in doubt, right, folks? Total control start to finish the entire way. What a finish. What a finish to the game. What a great performance by the Oilers overall. Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown, Chris Sabunia. We're going to have some fun tonight as Oiler fan with a giant sigh of relief. Game 7 win over the Vancouver Canucks. Coming at you from our mobile long shots studio, all Oiler game nights, and there will be more now. All you can eat wings, $25 a person at Long Shots in Sherwood Park. Some conditions apply, but a great spot to grab some wings, grab some food, play some golf, watch the game. And as always, our show is brought to you by our fantastic title sponsors, Sherwood Buick GMC. Just off baseline on the way into Sherwood Park, big, beautiful dealership, lots of stock, lots of great vehicles, know how to take great care of their clients, their customers. They respect your time, streamlined sales process. Financing is easy. Highly recommend you go check out Sherwood Buick GMC. I've got the Sierra 1500 Elevation, and it's spectacular. Okay, let's check in with Jason Strudwick as we wait for Rob Brown to finish his post-game show over on Ched, and he will be joining us shortly. Well, Struddy, they're through, man. They are through. Third round once again. Headline thought on tonight before we get to the breakdown.
Oh, geez.
You hate these.
No, I don't. I mean, well, there's so many things. Oh, man. I think experience mattered. Experience mattered tonight.
I like it. I agree with you. I think that they definitely had to lean on some of that. I think some veteran players. How about Darnell? Did you hear what Connor McDavid said about Darnell Nurse in the TV timeout there, calling everybody in? I saw them doing it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then Chris Noblock used the timeout. How about that? That never happens. And it paid off. It was frenetic right to the very end, but the Oilers managed to hold it together. Brownie's jumping in here, so let's just get right to breaking this thing down. Brought to you by Mr. Dirk, the iconic men's clothing store. Founded in 1939, just off White Ave, 102nd Street. I am in some Mr. Dirk apparel tonight. Lots of great suits, pants, shirts, sports coats, whatever you need. Casual, dressy. If you want to elevate your wardrobe at work or out on the town, Mr. Dirk can help you do that. Check out all they have to offer. Their website is mrdirk.com. Brownie, what's going on, bud?
I don't know. Anything going on? Anything happened today? Anything exciting in the world?
How are the callers?
A lot of happy callers. It's a good night to be an Edmontonian. It's a good night to be an Oiler fan. And I know that my son was sending me text that he's going to have to take some of my heart meds because he got a little nervous at the end. To me, I love the end of the game. That was just exciting. That was just, I mean, I didn't want 3-0 be fun. Yeah, we won in a blowout, but the excitement level over the last 5 minutes, I don't know if you guys probably didn't hear, but Jack Michael's call of it, like, I don't know if he's got a voice left. So to me, that was a fantastic way to end a really, really good series. Yeah, it was a heck of a good finish. Let's get to breaking this game down, and we'll kind of go a little bit in chronological order here because it got pretty sketchy at the end, and we'll dig into all of that. And there's a few headline items that I want to make sure that we get to, but I guess, Struds, where I will start is for the first however many minutes until things went bonkers, I just thought it was a steady and patient and smart, savvy game from this Oiler team. And at even strength, I just think they did such a good job of staying within themselves and playing smart and not getting impatient. Just a really mature
game right through until what happened at the end.
Yeah, so leave the end to the end. But I think that, what I liked is that when the Canucks did have a push, and they didn't have any pushes in the first period, but in the second period, when a shift or a line would have a shift, if there was a stoppage of play, the next line came out and tried to push back. And so it wasn't like shift after shift after shift where they were hemmed in their own zone and getting kind of pushed around, because they're in a game. There's going to be times where the other team does get the upper hand, and you just need to weather that storm. Then the next line out has to kind of correct it. So I really like that from this group tonight. Very, very mature looking first 52 minutes, Brownie.
Well, I think the difference in the game to start with is the Canucks came into this game trying to defend, and the Oilers came into this game to be aggressive. Yeah. The Oilers were trying to win the game. The Canucks were, and there's a fear when you play against the Oilers. They got Connor, they got Leon, they can score goals. If we just defend them, we'll get a break and we'll try and beat them 2-1. Well, the LA Kings have tried that 3 years in a row. You can't beat the Oilers that way. The Oilers' strength is up front. If you're going to beat the Oilers, you got to be aggressive. And the Canucks, once they fell behind, they became aggressive, and it was a much better hockey club. But they came in with a game plan. We're going to defend. But every shift it was, especially the first 30 minutes, they would get the puck out. They'd flip it in. They'd change. Here come the Oilers again. They'd be in their own zone for 30 seconds. They get the puck out, change. There was zero flow to the Canucks game, and credit the Oilers. They came with a game plan. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to win the hockey game. And they did win the hockey game in the first 35 minutes of this hockey game.
For sure. So I think we should go to the penalty kill next and special teams in general. I'm not sure. Their penalty kill here, guys, was 14 for 14 over the last 3 games of this series. And you'll recall it was perfect in the opening round series against the LA Kings. So, I mean, just incredibly impressive for the unit to turn it that way. But tonight, that 4-minute power play that Vancouver had, the Oilers had 9 clears and a breakaway on that thing. So, Struds, is that more Vancouver just being brutal on the man advantage, or how much credit do you give the Oilers for the way they were able to control that?
Well, Game 5, I thought the Canucks did an unreal job killing the Oilers penalty, and they snubbed them out. I think that was the night they were 0 for 5. And we talked about the reasons why the Oilers didn't do a good job, but the Canucks were so aggressive, sticks in the lanes and tough on entries. Like, it was really ugly. So we praised the Canucks that night. So I'm going to praise the Oilers tonight. I thought their PK was excellent, and it has been excellent for long stretches of these playoffs, or the playoffs, the 2 rounds. So yeah, I think you'd be doing them a disservice, or actually some disrespect by saying, well, Canucks weren't that ready. They weren't ready because the Oilers were so in touch, in tune of where they had to be with sticks in the lane. They were fantastic.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you on the fact that the Oilers penalty killing was great, and it was. And I believe this series was won by the Oilers penalty killing. They gave a Vancouver team nothing on the power play, but I'm also gonna, though, to me, the Vancouver Canucks, whoever runs their power play, that coach is a big reason the Vancouver Canucks aren't moving on. The Edmonton Oilers had a set play. They lined up the blue line, and they forced the Canucks, and the Canucks usually went to the left side coming up, and they gave it to Miller standing still, and then the Oilers attacked him. The Canucks saw that 6 straight games, and they couldn't get the puck in the zone. And here we come, Game 7. They were horrible to start this game. Yet they have a 4-minute power play, which they could have taken control. They could have had the lead and should have had the lead after 1 because of their power play. And they get 0 shots. They, as you said, Schauger, 9 clears. That means 9 times they came up the ice and couldn't get the puck in. They didn't make any changes. They didn't adapt to what the Oilers were doing. They didn't try dumping it in. They didn't try doing something different. To me, that's a failure by the Vancouver Canucks coaching staff of not adapting to what they're seeing. If you see something that's not working, here's what the Oilers are doing. Let's change. And I thought Chris Noblock did a really good job in this series, changing, whether it be lineup, whether it be goaltending, things like that. Whoever ran the Vancouver Canucks power play, and yes, the Oilers penalty killing was fantastic, but the Canucks did the same thing every time without getting the puck in. To me, that was a failure by the Canucks coaching staff.
For sure. Brownie, I'm going to bounce back to you here. I think you deserve a tremendous amount of credit because despite all the mountains and mountains of evidence to the contrary, somehow you maintained faith in this Oilers power play. and that faith paid off because it ended up scoring a huge goal. So while others had lost faith and were giving up on it, you hung in there through the darkest of times, Brownie.
Well, this is what was driving me crazy when I'm not naming any names, but when Struds was saying that yesterday, I'm concerned about the Oilers' power play, concerned about the best power play in the world, record-setting power play with the two best players in the world. How can you be concerned about that? They scored the game-winning goal, and the only reason they didn't score 2 power play goals because Artur Shilov had 2 of the prettiest saves you're going to see. So to me, the Oilers' power play is never anything you have to worry about. There'll be some. They're never gonna go 90% in an entire season or whatever it is. They're gonna have nights where the puck doesn't find the back of the net. But every important situation, if I had to bet on one power play in the National Hockey League, I would take the Edmonton Oilers power play every single time. And tonight, I think they may have taken away some of Struds' concerns and shoved them up Struds' nose.
Yeah. No, I hear it. It's amazing how I get it right almost every time when I say something. I said last night they cannot win if they don't score a power play goal. The game-winning goal was a power play goal. Can I be any smarter? Maybe I should be an NHL coach. I can't because I need to educate everyone who listens here about what's going on. So
wait, so you're the one that also said that the Oilers are going to have trouble scoring in the playoffs. Mark my words, they're going to have trouble scoring in the playoffs because they don't go to the net. They have had no trouble scoring goals. Their power play is not a concern.
Get back on point. You're veering too far off. Struds,
what I'm saying here is that with the power play, yes, it is an elite power play. Doesn't mean it doesn't have soft points. The 2 prior games, they were soft. I thought Vancouver owned them in Game 5. Game 6, it was soft. They weren't getting the job done. Tonight, they're able to squeak one over the line, and it got it done. And that'd be the difference in the game.
Yeah. I'm really concerned about Connor and Leon on the power play.
Makes me nervous when mom and dad fight at the dinner table.
Oh, no, it's just the way it is. It's the facts. I can only work on the facts I have before me, guys.
I mean, I think you're both right. Like my recollection was that Strud said, I don't think they're going to be able to win the next game without the power play getting on the board. Brownie, you said, I think they will be able to. Well, they needed that power play goal tonight. They for sure needed that power play goal tonight.
Well, they could have won in overtime if they didn't have that without a power play.
Yeah.
They won the last game without a power play goal. They had 5 even strength goals.
Yeah. Okay. So the power play comes up big. The penalty kill was fantastic. Even strength, the Oilers were dominant through the first portion of that game. Everything was going right. And then now this is going to be jaw-dropping for some people on this stream, because if you've paid attention to us this year, we've spent a fair amount of time being hard on Ryan McLeod for a number of different things this season, right? Earlier on, compete level, a lot of players deserved it, but we've been hard on him at times because I think he's an excellent player and he can give more. What I'm going to say tonight, guys, is I thought Ryan McLeod played really well in that game until he made that mistake. Now, the penalty wasn't great, not ideal, but I actually thought that was one of his most engaged, most active games where he was in the fight, he was competitive, and he was playing really well until he made that terrible mistake and didn't see the ice again. But I'm going to not pile onto him too much tonight, Struddy, because I actually thought he gave them a pretty good game and took some tough minutes. He was out there quite a bit against Miller, and I thought for the most part did his job until he didn't.
Yeah, I think 3 things I want to highlight. The high-sticking penalty, tough one. The turnover, tough one. But the third line is not fitting together, right? It's not. I think that of the 4 lines, that's the weakest of the lines. With what they can accomplish. So yeah, I thought he had, the team as a group was playing well, but really tough. Those two situations are really tough for McLeod. And I think that what he did, Noblock did the right thing, just remove him from the situation, and they rolled Connor and Leon into that spot the next 2 times that line went out.
Well, I think that we've talked about it quite a bit in this playoff series. To me, the 4th line has outplayed the 3rd line almost all playoff long. And Janmark, he's just a guy that you have so much trust in if you're a coach. And I thought Connor Brown played well tonight. So I think McLeod, I understand what you're saying, Shaga. There was a couple of good shifts. There's one went in and drilled behind the net. I can't remember which defense, and took the puck from him, made a play. As for the mistakes happen. There's two. The Oilers made. This was a pretty clean game. The Oilers made two big mistakes. Vinny Desharnais off the boards. That was a weak play off the boards, and it turned into a partial breakaway. And then the McLoud one. Other than that, it was a clean game. Mistakes are made. And if you look at the other side, there was a lot of mistakes made by the Vancouver Canucks. I do appreciate, what Noblock did by benching McLeod, but I also appreciate the way he explained it to people.
We got that clip right now, Brownie. Should we go to it?
Absolutely. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. With seasons changing, now's a good time to get your air conditioner scheduled in for service before the heat hits, or your ducts cleaned before you fire up your air conditioner and blow all that dust throughout your home. Visit weiss-johnson.com for all of your home comfort needs.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Chris Noblock explaining his decision to sit Ryan McLeod, but also for any of you thinking that maybe he gets scratched for game one of the next series, don't hold your breath. Here's the coach.
Yeah, you be careful with that. Just one, you don't know how he's going to handle that the next play. The next time the puck's on a stick, what's he going to do? Because part of being a defensive player is being able to make the play with the puck. But I'll tell you, that last 7-8 minutes of the game, I missed him. Like, I wanted him out there, but you also have to be careful of how he's going to handle that. He probably would have handled it fine. I think he would have been the play, but you're not sure. I know there's a very strong, supportive team that a group of players that are giving him a lot of support, and I'm sure he's going to put it behind him, and he might be starting the game one opening draw against Dallas, because I don't know how far we're going to get without him playing well and playing some key situations.
I thought that was great. I thought he explained it well, and it's one of those ones that if this wasn't game 7, he comes out right away with them.
Yeah, and
then you find out how he responds. But I don't think I want to find out, and the coaches want to find out with 3 minutes to go in a 1-goal game. So, so I think it was the right move by Noblock. I like the way he explained it. And Struds, I know that over your career, the same thing. Coaches sometimes have to make decisions, but explain them to you, or say out loud why I did it. And if you say it out loud, they're like, okay, I understand why you did that for me, and don't like getting benched, but I can see his point.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough time left in the game. I was, as soon as it happened, I'm like, okay, he's out, and it's not, he's a relatively inexperienced player. We're not talking about a hardened veteran here that's played through 1,000 games, right? That knows how to bounce through. So the good thing for Ryan is it didn't hurt the team. He get the win. He's going to grow from this. He'll have that experience, and just making sure that play is correct. But I'll also go to another play. I thought on the second goal, Bouchard iced the puck. That's not. There's no need to ice that puck there. Like I thought he had a split second to make a play, maybe just throw it out to their blue line. I thought that was just a little bit too much. And I get the moment you're pumping with juice and excited, but that is a play you can't make. So I highlighted 2 and Bouchard. 71 and 2. Those are 2 plays that, they didn't hurt the Oilers as far as losing the game. So they can grow and understand those moments, because until you've been in a tight pressure moment, you don't really know how you're going to react, and just be calm and just breathe through it and make the play.
Icings happen. Icings happen sometimes. No, I agree that it wasn't ideal.
Go back and watch it. He has time. He has time to make a play. I cannot accept that. He's a highly skilled player. There's no way you're icing it there.
All right.
That's not Dene there.
I'll take your point there, but this is where I was going to go next. I mean, Evan Bouchard was phenomenal in this series. Like, Evan Bouchard played offensively, piled up the points. I think he had 4 goals and 7 assists. I think he was 11 points in 7 games. And then in games 6 and 7 with their season on the line, I think he was 1 and 4. Like Evan, and then with their season on the line, he's out at the end of the game defending the lead. I mean, he's out in the last minute of the game. This was Evan Bouchard. So I think Evan Bouchard leveled up here in this series, guys. I think he took his overall game to another level. and was really, really impressive. So fair enough point about the icing, Struds, but the story of Evan Bouchard tonight is nothing but arguably the Oilers' best player in this series.
Oh, absolutely. So I guess I'm not criticizing his overall play.
Yep.
But in that moment, it's fair to point out that a skilled player with the puck on his stick has to make a play. And we heard Rick talk a lot about it on the other side. You know, geez, I don't remember what game. It might have been game 5 or 3, whichever one, where they were, you know, he talked about his team was just shooting the puck out. You know, you got to get your feet moving. You're not frozen. Just make a quick play, get your feet moving, and get it over. He even referred to it tonight in his press conference. So
talk about the other side of his game, Struds. Talk about the other side of his game.
Yeah. So, but I know, but I think we have to still point it out. But when you're on those moments, you learn through those moments. So I'm not criticizing his entire play. I'm saying that that's how you learn, Schauger. You learn from being in those tight moments in those tight games, and they'll grow from that. So we know we did the points. I mean, it was amazing. The goal was amazing. Everything he had touched, he did. It was great. But I'm looking at, you know, you're trying to look ahead and how do you grow as a team? That those two guys will learn from that and they'll grow as that for sure.
Brownie?
I think Bouchard's gone from a good offensive defenseman to becoming a good defenseman. I think we talked all season long. He's going to score 20 goals, he's going to get 80 points, but he means a power play guy that you can't put out in defensive situations. He's not that anymore. I think there's still going to be some warts here and there, but all great players have warts, and some of them. And I thought Evan Bouchard in this playoff series was fantastic, and good on him, because they need him. They need him to be that. They need to be able to play him. I mean, you don't play. He played 31 minutes a couple games ago. You don't play 31 minutes in a hockey game in the playoffs unless you're doing things right in both ends of the rink. And I think Bouchard is.
All Oilers in ice time tonight. Let's get back to the Weish Johnson sound box and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with some high praise. He's noticing too. Other elements in Bouchard's game are coming to the forefront.
I mean, yeah, he raised it to another level. He's a pretty even keel guy, even on the ice, but it's nice to see his intensity. Not just the way that he shoots the puck. We all know that he can hammer it and pick corners, but I think his intensity around our net, some of the battles he got into, it's a great sign. And he's maturing and really figuring out he's a bit of an animal.
I love the end of that clip. Really figuring out he's a bit of an animal. What do you think of that, Struds?
Yeah, it's a good quote. And I think, you know, listen, I never played in the playoffs. I watched a lot. Unfortunately, I watched a lot of them. And I just see players grow and understand that as you go through it, you just kind of, what it takes, you know, and listen to Rick Tocchet speak or other guys that have gone deep in one like cups. Like you start to understand what it takes night in, night out. And I think that's what, you know, you kind of get with this Oilers team, and everyone's gone through quite a few, but you're still learning on the fly, Brownie.
Well, I think with Bouchard, to me, to see how far he's come, because Bouchard was always a guy that fans loved his offensive ability, but questioned at times his toughness. And I think the best thing that there's a shift in front of the net, him and JT Miller, last game going at it. They started in the corner, they went in front, they both did somersaults on top of each other. But Bouchard initiated as much as JT Miller did. Miller's a beast, an absolute beast. I don't know if a year ago, if Evan Bouchard would have engaged with JT Miller like that, but he did. And I think that's the biggest thing now. You're starting to see a physical engagement by Evan Bouchard, which is going to make him a much better hockey player. He is a big man too. You don't realize how big and strong Bouchard is, and now he's starting to use it in the proper way.
Did you see the play, guys, where he was in the train tracks up against the boards? I don't know who hit him, but somebody had him the whole time dead to rights, and they walloped him. Mm-hmm. And he bounced off the boards, took the puck 2 hard strides, and fired it up like 120 feet up ice, tape-to-tape pass. Like, he absorbed the contact, made the play way up ice. It was an awesome play. And before Evan Bouchard, there would be a slight little bit of hesitation there, right? Mm-hmm. To me, one of the biggest changes we've seen is he's not shying away from contact. He's absorbing it and making plays through it. And Struds, the lack of a sense of urgency was a common criticism, where he almost didn't recognize the danger around him. He seems to be more aware right now in his own end.
Yeah, well, you got to have that spidey senses are going off. Like, it's like a quarterback in the pocket. You know, 1 Mississippi, 2, bang, you get hit. You got to get that ball off quick. So I think playing with Ekholm makes a big difference. I think that he's watching Ekholm and how Ekholm isn't the fastest guy out there, but he's got a good stick and he knows where to put the puck and use his body and be in the right place. I think that it's rubbing off on Bouchard, and he has had an incredible 2 rounds of playoffs. You know, I think in the first round against LA, I don't remember which game, I said it was the best game he's ever had as an Oiler, maybe in the NHL. And I think he's grown from there. He's improved from that moment. So yeah, he's a huge part of what they're doing. And I honestly, the size makes a big difference, guys. It makes a bit, because you roll off hits as you just described there, guys.
Well, it's funny. His lack of urgency has now turned into good patience. That's what it's turned into for him.
Yeah, for sure. We are live streaming on Twitter and on YouTube. And Zuby, I got to say, man, we have a whopper of an audience tonight, pal. We're pushing over 800 people that are live on the stream with us tonight, which is amazing. A lot of new faces, a lot of new names here chiming in on the stream. So lots of great questions coming in. For those of you that are joining us live for the first time, we do an Ask Us Anything segment. If you send your questions, Zuby will gather those, and we'll do a segment at the end of the podcast, at the end of the show, where we take some of those questions. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you get a chance to. I was told today by somebody who knows about these things that I don't self-promote enough on the pod. So I'm going to take a minute and self-promote. Hit that like button. We really appreciate it when you do that. Helps us out. And we love our live audience here. So thanks so much for joining us. Let's get to the UCAN Youth Services Relentless Player of the Night. UCAN is an Edmonton charity that we're super proud to be partnered with here on the show. They help youth age 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and find employment. Visit ucan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. Got Your Back is a very proud monthly donor, and we encourage you to take a look at that program. And if you can, join us as monthly donors to UCAN Youth Services. Struddy, who do we got tonight, friend?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going with the coach, Mark Stewart, running the PK.
Wow.
Since he's come in, he's been relentless in his pursuit of getting this thing in the right direction. And it's been so good. I think that it's noticeable the way he's made changes. It's really the way they're pushing guys down the wall. They're supporting each other, coming around. Their whole goal is to keep it out of the middle. Now, Dallas, they've got pretty good D-men too. Maybe not as offensive as Quinn Hughes, although Heiskin's pretty damn good. So they're going to have to keep that same level. But I'll give Mark Stewart credit, man. That PK has been unreal for a long time now.
That's a good call, Struts. Again, I honestly believe the difference in this series, I mean, it's a 7-game series, 6 games were by 1 goal. To me, the difference in this series is the Oilers' penalty killing. I believe that was the biggest reason the Oilers won this series. Their penalty killing was rock solid.
Yeah, man. And to go perfect in the last 3 games the way they did is really impressive. So, yeah, interesting. I like it, Struds. It's going a little bit off the board. 100% going a little off the board there. Mark Stewart, winner of the UCAN Youth Services Relentless Person of the Night. Okay, Zuby, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, let's get to takeaways. I know people want to talk about the Dallas series. They really want to talk about the Dallas series. We're going to save that. We got more to break down from this game and from this series. And then I think what we're going to do tonight, guys, we're going to switch the order around a little bit, Zuby. For taking a lap tonight, we're going to preview the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. So we're a little bit of editing on the fly here. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break, then we're going to do takeaways, and then we'll do take a lap and Brownie points, and then we'll spring Brownie after that. So just so you can prepare for that, Zuby, we got a pile more podcasts coming, so stay with us.
The fastest growing male grooming company on the planet just got even better. Backscape 2.0 with a revolutionary friction fit handle makes the razor easy to pop in and out to shave not only your back, but anywhere on your body. And those hard to reach spots just got even easier with the new ergonomic design. Backscape's new titanium shave head makes for a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. Backscape 2.0. Stay smooth, gentlemen.
On paper, my life looks exciting.
In reality, not so much.
Every day it's same old, same old.
Clock in, clock out.
Then I discovered Play Alberta. I can play casino games anytime.
Bet on any game.
And buy lottery tickets anywhere in Alberta. I think my spleen is ruptured.
All right, let's get to our takeaways. Brought to you by FG Promotions, your place for all corporate and team merchandise, from apparel, jerseys, gifts, golf tournament prizes. Customers even get personal discounts on golf gear for their employment. Top shelf quality, amazing customer service. Check out fgpromo.ca and get 10% off your first order when you mention that Got Your Back sent ya. Okay, gents, more elements of this game that I think we need to break down. Do we feel like they have found a formula in their top six that they can confidently carry through into the next round, Struds? Like, Dylan Holloway's emergence here has really helped a team that lost Adam Henrique and needed to round out that top six.
Well, it's amazing. You look at him, where was he in April? Wasn't he in the minors trying to score a hat trick or something like that towards the end of the year? Like, it's a big change. So now he comes up and he was not in the lineup. He's worked his way up and he looks good. He looks really good out on there. The balance between him and Kane and Draisaitl in the middle. I think you've seen a more physical guy. He's using his speed at better times. He's holding on to pucks. I think that's a big thing. When you play a Leon Draisaitl, Brownie, I might be wrong, but he doesn't want you to throw pucks away. He wants you to hold on to it and try to find him, try to find each other, like no hope passes. I think, he in the offensive zone at least wants to play a slower paced game as far as having the puck and just him getting that big wide stance and making plays. So don't throw it away from him.
No, I think what Holloway does is he gives them a big, mean, nasty line. Leon Draisaitl is a nasty hockey player. He plays angry. Evander Kane is always angry when he's on the ice, and Holloway plays with it's almost like a doodle run you through the boards type of thing. Like, he doesn't have a snarl to him, but he plays hard. And I think that the Dallas Stars are going to find they got this line with McDavid that's all speed and pretty plays. And then the next line that comes out just going to hammer you shift after shift after shift. And I think what Holloway does in the top six, he gives you two really good top six lines. And if you get a healthy Henrique back, you can put him on your third line. And now your third line is way stronger. And you have Henrique. I'd put him in the middle. I'd put Holloway on the wing. And you now have a veteran presence on your third line. The Dallas Stars' strength.
Sorry, say that again, Brownie. What would your third line be?
I'd have Henrique in the middle, and I'd throw Holloway on the left, and I'd throw Foegele on the right.
Why would you take Holloway out of the top six?
Sorry, my apologies, McLoud. McLeod.
Okay,
sorry,
yeah,
no.
Good.
Holloway's in the
That'd
top
make me
six.
nervous.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's late at night. I'm old. Got memory issues. So no, I have Henrique, McLeod, and Foegele, and you just have a veteran presence in Henrique. And all of a sudden, again, Dallas's strength is four lines deep, four very good lines. And I think Holloway allows you to move Henrique into a line that makes that line stronger. So that I think you leave the top six. If Henrique comes back or not, you leave the top six alone.
What would you do with the fourth line, Brownie? That moves Ryan down.
That's a tough one because I think all four of them, Ryan, Carrick, Janmark, and Brown, have all been good. You don't take Janmark's going nowhere. Janmark is, I don't know if it's called a coach's pet, but he's earned the trust of that coaching staff.
I think it's Janmark, Ryan, and Carrick.
I like that. I do. Although Connor Brown, have you found anything wrong with his game? I mean, his penalty kill is good. He gets the breakaway. Yeah. But Carrick gives you raspiness, 100%. Carrick will give you more physicality than Connor Brown would. So yeah, I like that fourth line.
And in this reality, we're talking about Adam Henrique coming back in, which adds a penalty killer to the mix. So if you have to scratch Connor Brown, you can. It's not the end of the world.
I have a question for you, Shogger, because you travel with the team. Is Adam Henrique skating?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah, but he's not, like, he hasn't been really pushing it that I can see. I've seen him walking around, like he seems okay. I think it's a lower body injury, something kind of in the leg / ankle type area. So he'll go out there and skate, guys, but then line rushes will start and he won't take any line rushes. I don't see him really pushing himself.
It sounds like high ankle sprain, which suck, and they last forever. And then you think you're better, and then you tweak it, and then you go back about 80%. So it's hard to come out of.
Yeah. Struds, it's a good thing that the Oilers were able to get through this series without having to just jump onto the backs of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. That's a good thing. So you take that as a positive. But at the same time, McDavid in particular here, like, hasn't been at the high-end level of his game, production-wise. So I don't think he's healthy. I think he's dealing with something. Don't know exactly what it is, but I think we can all kind of see that. I don't know. Like, what percentage do you think he was playing at here, Struds? Because he didn't have that high-end impact.
Well, I think we do know Connor has another gear. Not that from effort-wise, maybe he's not feeling great, but I think it's not a long break, but a couple breaks, days like this will be good. I'm guessing the team flew home tonight, if I was guessing, and then
yeah, I think they did.
Nothing tomorrow, maybe Wednesday a practice and fly to Dallas Wednesday. I'm guessing. Or maybe not even a practice Wednesday, just practice Thursday morning. But the thing with McDavid is that, you just want him out there, but he needs to be just wrapped up in paper and we'll see a game one. The good news for him, not to get too far ahead, the D of Dallas won't treat him the same way as the D for Vancouver tried to treat him. They were trying to rough him up, specifically Myers, Zadorov, and Soucy. And Cole when, he was on the ice, although, he made a pretty good save today. But I think that's going to be a little bit different. So he's going to be dealing with more speedy D-men rather than a hammer time type D-men. So, if he's got an injury, I'm not sure. I think that's probably better, because you're not Brownie, you're not getting, chance of re-injuring it from getting blasted by someone who's over 6'5" is pretty low because they don't have that guy in the back end.
Oh, but it depends what he's dealing with. If he's dealing with, a back, shoulder, something like that, you don't want to get hit over and over again. If you're dealing with something that limits your movement, well, then you don't really want to play against defensemen that move well because they'll be able to skate with you. You're right, though. This is not a physical defense in Dallas. This is a defense that moves the puck well, jumps up in the play. And I don't think they're physical up front much either. I think Jamie Benn is very physical. But after that, this is a team that it's relentless is what the Dallas Stars are. Just shift after shift after shift.
We need to, let's refocus it on tonight a little bit. Stuart Skinner. So I don't know if coming out of game 6, we could say he's back. I don't think he had that type of performance where it was like he had the opportunity to have any sort of command performance to regain it. But Stuart Skinner tonight, guys, there was a stretch in the second period. So if I look at my notes here, it's like all Oilers stuff. And then suddenly it's save Skinner off the rush, Lafferty. Save Skinner, glove save. Save Skinner, Lindholm shot. Save Skinner. He made a sequence in about 3 or 4 minutes of like 4 or 5 saves that were just steady, consistent. He made them look easy. I thought right there, Struds, that had to be a confidence-building moment for him after not seeing a ton of action. Just boom, 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 boom. Really strong.
Yeah, he could have just gone dressed in the second half of the second period, really. I mean, it was really, I think at one point, the Oilers had 2 goals and Van had 4 shots. So there wasn't much going on. But I'm going to take you to 2 specific moments, the 2 breakaways, where both times the player missed the net. Now, I see it as he was in the right place. And yeah, the guys maybe missed their shots. But generally speaking, I think, Brownie, you're in the right spot. You're kind of trying to shoot it through a keyhole rather than seeing a giant gaping hole that was maybe waiting there and some other opportunities.
Well, when a goalie's in the right spot and a player fumbles, it usually means the player where he wanted to go isn't there. So now he has to rethink. So give Skinner credit there. And the part that you're talking about, Shogger, at the end of the second period, it changes the game. If Vancouver can get a goal and pull within 2 going into the third period, that's a big difference. As we've seen many times with the Oilers. If the Oilers get one late, now you're just 2 goals down. Completely different changes the whole third period. So, yeah, I thought Skinner was fine. I thought, again, a confidence builder. The next series, the Oilers will play against their first really good goalie of the playoffs. So Stuart Skinner, in the other end, has to be very good himself.
Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Zuby, we have Stuart Skinner evaluating his own play.
We do.
Roll it.
It's big just as a perseverance-wise. I know there's proof now that I have it in me to bounce back like that. I've proved it many times, but in a playoff situation like this, it definitely feels good. I definitely say it's something that I'm proud of.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. He should feel proud of himself. He went through a lot in this series, and he bounced back. And look, did he have the chance to be spectacular? No, because his team was really good defensively in front of him. But Struddy, I like the sounds of that, man. He's proud of himself, and I think he should be. He needs to take that and push forward with confidence.
He does. And just like with McLeod and Bouchard, another youngish type player going through a tough situation, and he comes out the other side and looks really good because he did come back and play well. And I'll give Noblock complete credit. I was adamant that it should have been Pickard. Well, I first started out with being Skinner, and then ended up being Pickard. I thought Pickard should have played in Game 6. He didn't, and he was rewarded with a good performance from his his number one tonight in Game 7, a knockout game.
Well, I think that we've seen Stuart Skinner. He stands up and takes the blame when it's his fault. So when you have a good game, go out and say, hey, I am proud of myself. Good on him. It's Stuart Skinner came up in the 2 biggest games of the year for the Edmonton Oilers and was solid. So I think going forward, you want a confident goaltender when you go to the Final Four. They're in the Final Four right now, and Stuart Skinner's feeling good about himself. That means the team's feeling good about him too.
Zuby, you're getting some loving chirps here on the stream. And I'm seeing a lot of one-stitch references here, Struds. We're getting a lot of one-stitch references on the stream here.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, the one stitch is still, I've told that story numerous times in the last 48 hours.
I don't know if it's a good enough nickname, though. Brownie, I know you never listen to the pod when you're not on it. Do you know what we're even talking about?
No.
Zuby told a story about how he hurt his elbow playing a game and was bleeding and went to the hospital and got one stitch put in.
I didn't know they could do that. I thought that was a Band-Aid. Isn't one stitch just a Band-Aid?
Bronze Solo on the chat said, did Pettersson have a single stitch on his chin after that high stick? This is important because it could be only the second one in history.
So they're trying to make the nickname One Stitch stick, but I doesn't roll off the tongue. Chris R says, how about Stitchy? I'm not sure about that. Like, Zuby is a good nickname. It's a good nickname. And as much as I want this to stick,
Chief Andy just nailed it. Zuby, the One Stitch Warrior. It's like my subheading. It's the subheading of the Zuby.
Second line of that. Yeah, I like that. What do we got left for sound bites there, Zuby? Sorry, buddy, I can't remember what we all asked for.
We've got Leon on the short one on Dallas and a couple from Connor, one on the timeout and one on Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's get to the timeout real quick from Connor McDavid. He talked about how during the commercial break, Darnell Nurse kind of called everybody over and had a chat with the group. But also, how about Chris Noblock using one of those rare timeouts? Here's McDavid.
I thought it was a great timeout. Even Darnell in the last TV timeout, bringing the guys together, showing great leadership, and that's what he is. He's a great leader. He's big in this room. And he showed great leadership there, bringing everybody in, and I thought it was a good timeout by Chris too. The building's going crazy, it's loud, everybody understands, what's at stake, and just settled everyone down. And
Nurse better here in the last couple of games, Struds?
Yeah, I mean, he took a minus today. I wouldn't really say that was his fault. He's kind of just unfortunate on the ice. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see his physicality get in there. I think that's when you're playing with Vinny. I think the two of them could be rougher and more physical. But yeah, I mean, I think it was better the last 2 games. I still think he's one of the players that has to elevate his game for them to roll into this Dallas series.
Absolutely. He's going to need to be a beast because the Stars got a bunch of real good goal scorers. Okay, we're going to break down the series in the next segment for Taking a Lap. But for right now, let's get to the best segment on the podcast, Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. This Alberta-based family-owned business opened in 1962. For the entire month of May, they got a great deal for you. Pound and a half of jerky for $55 and free shipping. Mix and match. They got 14 amazing flavors. It's out of this world. Fast shipping anywhere in Alberta. Visit albertajerky.com. Brownie?
Well, I'm going to start with 93 brownie points for RNH. I thought the longest serving Edmonton Oiler was excellent in this series and was phenomenal in this game. The Oilers' penalty killing was great. Last game, Game 6, Nuge was out there 5-on-3 against 1-2 faceoffs. You can't, on a 5-on-3, you can't lose a faceoff. Nugent Hopkins won 2, shot it down, and I thought he was really good in tonight's game. He was first star. Big game for Nuge. I got 57 brownie points to Cody Ceci, number 5. Let's just call him Mr. Game 7. That's all we have to say. Every Game 7, Cody Ceci unleashes a bomb. He scores a big goal tonight. And the Oilers were all over the Canucks, but they couldn't break through. Cody Ceci broke through for the Edmonton Oilers. I got 91 brownie points for the Oilers PK. They are over 91% in this series. That's unbelievable. Biggest reason, I said earlier, biggest reason the Oilers are moving on. Their penalty killing was excellent. I've got 26 brownie points for the opposition goalie, Artur Shilov. He gave his team a fighter's chance, and he had the save of the year. I know that Cole got a piece of it, but Shilov still gets across on the Leon Draisaitl shot and gets his glove on it. He's a third-string goaltender, came up from the minors. He only had an average minor league season, and he took his team to Game 7 against a very good Edmonton Oilers team. And the last one, because I'm running out of brownie points, I'm taking 50 back from whoever runs the power play for the Vancouver Canucks. You owe me 50 brownie points, because if there's a reason the Vancouver Canucks are not going to Dallas, their power play would be the biggest reason. So 50 brownie points I'm putting in my back pocket.
Beautiful. Great job as always, Brownie. By the way, had the Oilers not beaten the Vancouver Canucks tonight, without Thatcher Demko, without Brock Besser, with Elias Pettersson nowhere to be, this would have been a monstrous organizational disappointment. Monstrous. If they weren't able to get through this game tonight. I know we get caught up, it's a close series, There's no way that they should have lost this game tonight, Struds. No way. That would have been a massive disappointment.
Well, I think the series in general, I think that would have been just, it's losing the game, losing the series, whether they lose it in 4 or 7. I think there's no way they should have lost this. And now you get to the conference final in your final 4. And all 4 teams, they haven't won a Stanley Cup in a long time. None of the 4 of them. I don't think Florida's never won one, I guess. So you got a shot, right? You got a chip in a chair, and, it's going to be a tough task. But playing any of the other 3 teams are all going to be hard. You're down to the final 4.
Well, Rishaug, going on that, they're missing their MVP, the Vancouver Canucks. Thatcher Demko, he's a top 3 goalie in the world. Yeah. And he was the best player for the Canucks all season long. And they're missing their 40 goal scorer. That's like taking Hyman out of our lineup. And he's leading them in scoring in the playoffs. So, yes, put it this way. If the Oilers did not find a way to win tonight, I wouldn't be on this show right now, because I'd still be right on the chair beside me on 6:30 Ched, because we would be the last time the Oilers, when they lost to the Jets, I think Reed and I were on air for 3.5 hours after the game, fielding phone calls from fans that were not entirely happy with the way the series went. I think it would have been the same. Having said that, the Oilers found a way to win, and as Strud said, we got a seat at the party here, and all 4 teams that are left are great. All 4 teams are capable of winning the Stanley Cup, and the Edmonton Oilers get to start that quest on Thursday night.
Mike Smith says it would have been a huge disappointment, extremely frustrating. My hair would have gone all Struds, then Mac T-like, then Rick Tocchet-like in the pace of 72 hours. So Mike Smith, thankful that the Oilers were able to pull this out. Short break. When we come back, let's dive into the Oilers and the Dallas Stars, down to the Final 4. The season matchup wasn't great. The last game they faced each other wasn't great. Is there reason for hope? We will ask our experts, former National Hockey League players Rob Brown and Jason Strudwick, here on Got Your Back. We'll be right back.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. Long Shots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
Spring is here, and if you're thinking of buying a new home during the housing market hot period, contacting a mortgage broker should be your first step. Maria Gallus with Maximo Mortgages can guide you with a stress-free experience. With access to dozens of different lenders, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you ready to put an offer in on your dream home. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
Anything on it. All right, time now to take a lap. Let's preview a series brought to you by Backscape, the fastest growing male grooming company on the planet, and it just got even better. The Backscape 2.0. I've tried this thing. It's pretty awesome. New friction fit handle lets you effortlessly snap the shaver in and out to touch up other parts of your body as well. The titanium shave head gives you a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. We've got a promo code for you at backscape.com. That's BAKscape.com. And use promo code GYB10. Get you 10% off your first order of Advanced or Deluxe 2.0 kits. Backscape, stay smooth, gentlemen. Okay, 3 games between the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. First one came in November, 4-3 win by the Dallas Stars. February 17th, 4-3 win for the Edmonton Oilers. April 3rd, 5-0 shutout win by the Dallas Stars over the Edmonton Oilers. Brownie, maybe just your thoughts overall on the depth of the Dallas Stars and how much bigger a challenge this will be than what the Oilers have faced so far.
Well, I think the Dallas Stars have 4 lines that can score. They've got 4 lines that they roll. I don't think they're overly physical up front, but they come with speed, and they just come shift after shift after shift. I think that when you saw with LA had a really good line with Kempe, and then there was 3 lulls, and then they come out with the Kempe Kopitar, and they get it. But it was 1 line that could score against you. The Canucks, 1.5 lines, and that's it. And then you'd have a big break, so you could take a big. It was almost like you got a sigh on the bench. Okay, we got 2 shifts here before we have to start going again. You don't have that with Dallas. It's relentless. They just come at you shift after shift. And if you look at their scoring in the playoffs, it's the 4th line scored 2 goals. Then tonight it was the 2nd line. Then the next day it was the 3rd line. They get contributions. So it's not like you can set out a line and say, okay, we're going to shut these guys down. They just don't play that way. So up front, they are very strong. They're very deep. The only problem they have right now, they got 2 injuries, and one of them is up front. Rupi Hintz, who is a fantastic hockey player, has not played the last 3 games. They don't know when he's coming back. That is a big loss. But each round, teams get harder. The Dallas Stars are better than Vancouver. Vancouver is better than LA. And it'll be a test for the Oilers.
Yeah, this will be the biggest test for sure coming out of the Western Conference. They're a really good team. What they are, and just to kind of jump on what Brownie's saying, there are 4 lines that are kind of copies of each other. They all play fast, but they have a lot of hockey sense on this team. When you look up front, there's a lot of smart hockey players, and just go through them, whether it's Joe Pavelski, who I think is about 100 years old, or Tyler Seguin, or Jamie Benn. Those guys have been around a long time. Wyatt Johnson, a younger player. They've got a bigger body in Marchment. I wouldn't say he's a super ultra physical guy.
No.
Rupe Hintz, like all these guys are so smart. When you watch them, they play smart. Then on the back end, they lean on 4D men a lot. Ryan Suter's, a little bit older version himself. And then whoever, if it's Petrovic or whoever, Hakanpää hasn't been around for a while, but they lean on 4 guys quite a bit. But those 4 guys are good. And the player, all the ones are great, obviously, Tanev and Heiskanen and Harley. I love Esa Lindell. I think Esa Lindell is going to see a lot of the top guys for the Oilers. Obviously, he's a really good D man. And Oilers fans, you're not going to like this guy after this series.
For sure. Quick rip through the lines here for those that aren't 100% familiar with the team. I pulled these off Daily Face-Off. But Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, and Logan Stankoven. Some young players playing way up in their lineup. really young players that are going to be going through this at this level with this type of pressure together for the first time. So interesting. Jason Robertson, very good goal-scoring winger. Matt Duchene, we all know about him, scored a huge goal. And Joe Pavelski. Mason Marchment, Tyler Seguin, Evgeny Dodonov, Radek Faksa, Sam Steele, a local product, and Craig Smith. Thomas Harley, very good young defenseman, and Miro Heiskanen, both just fantastic mobility, fantastic puck skills. What a great pairing they are. Esa Lindell and Chris Tanev. That is a hell of a second pairing. And then Ryan Suter. You mentioned Petrovich is in there, possibly Hakanpää at a certain point. But Struds, I want to just circle that second pair, Lindell and Tanev. Like, Tanev has been so good for them in these playoffs, and Lindell is one of the more underrated players in the conference.
Lindell, he's one of my favorite players. I love watching him play. And I know that Heiskanen is on that group too. I get it. But he is so good. Those two guys, I believe Lindell and Tanev are going to see a ton of either Connor or Leon. Like, they're going to be out there a ton and out there all the time. I actually think with those two guys, they've got to get Holloway, Kane, Zach Hyman and whatever, Fogel. They have to pound those guys. I know they're decent size. They're not huge, but you have to wear those guys down because they're big and they get in the way and they're going to try to block shots. You have to make those guys earn every single second of ice that are out there. Make it hard. Even if you're out there with McDavid, skate through them, skate around them, make them turn, make them work, and hopefully grind them down. It's not easy. These are really good D-men, and they're a great pairing, Brownie.
They are, and I watched a lot of their series against the Avalanche, and Tanev and Lindell, but Tanev was out every shift against McKinnon, and McKinnon is Connor McDavid. I mean, he's there. He's going to probably win the MVP this year. He's had an incredible season, and every time he touches the puck, he's going 100 miles an hour like Connor does. And Tanev was out there shift after shift after shift. Dallas is good. They had to knock off the last two Stanley Cup champions to get here. They didn't have an easy route. And they knocked off a very good Vegas team that got healthy suddenly at the start of the playoffs, and a Colorado team that many had picked to be a Final Two team as well. So Dallas is good. They've earned their right to be here through a great regular season and two fantastic series against two very good hockey clubs.
Jake Ottinger played a series against Calgary a couple seasons ago and was just unreal. Was so good. One of the better performances we've seen over the last few years. Has refound his game and is an elite goaltender here, Struds. This is going to be, I know they don't face off against one another, but this is big stage, big moment, big time guy at the other end for Stu Skinner to square down.
It is. And Jake Ottinger, unfortunately for anyone who they're playing against, is continually getting better. He didn't have the best year, but he's finding his groove. And I think that's really scary. So, for Stu Skinner, I think it's unfair to say he has to beat him. I think he has to try to keep up with him, and play solid. Like if he plays like he did tonight, no problem. You can live with that, right? Like there's some talent on the Stars forwards for sure. And there's some talent on the Oilers side. So they're going to get to Ottinger at times as well. But Ottinger, I believe, gets the nod in this series for netminders.
Well, this is the first time the Oilers have played a great goaltender. I mean, they played against Talbot and Riddick in the first round, what we would call average at best. They played a third stringer in Vancouver who played really, really well, but he's only in there because of injury. But now the three goalies left that the Oilers could play against, Shesterkin, Bobrovsky, and Ottinger, those are three of the best goalies in the National Hockey League. So the Oilers are going to have to work for their goals. And Stuart Skinner, he has to make the saves he's supposed to, and he's going to have to make a couple that he isn't, because you know that Ottinger is.
Chris R. says, we've beat Tanev before. We'll do it again. Of course, alluding to his days with the Calgary Flames. Not buying that, Struds?
Well, he was broken. He was playing with one arm. Remember the one time in front of the net, he couldn't lift anyone's stick. I forget who just tapped it underneath. It's like, I can't believe he was out there. He should, honestly, he should have been out there.
He should have been. And I remember watching that warm-up, and Chris Tanev skated around. He did not touch a puck the entire warm-up. Didn't take a shot, didn't make a pass. He was in that much pain. He is a true warrior, and that was a fantastic trade by the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
They got to get to him. They got to be physical. And I know he's not their skilled guy, but you have to wear those guys down. They are good.
Nope.
They're
You know what I love about Tanev, though, is when he smiles. Like, I did an event with him this summer. He literally has one tooth in his mouth. It's hilarious when he smiles.
Some good comments here. Leon Draisaitl asked about the Dallas Stars as we go back to the Weiss Johnson sound box. He was pretty blunt.
That's going to be a man's game. That's a really good team. They'll be ready for us, but so will we.
That's going to be a man's game. Expecting some physical play. Jamie Benn is a hard, uncomfortable player to play against, Struds. He makes you uncomfortable. He can fight your toughest guy. He can hit you as hard as anybody. Just vicious in the last round against Colorado. We saw that. And he's going to be he's going to have the Stanley Cup scent, right? They're close. And Ben is going to be fascinating to watch in this next round and how the Oilers deal with that player, frankly.
Yeah, he does a lot of things. He can still score, not like he used to. But his involvements when the physical part and kind of like what we expect Corey Perry to bring for the Oilers or Evander Kane. So I think that you have to be careful with how you deal with him. You can't get sucked into what he's doing. I think it's better to initiate with him. So you go out and finish your check on him and skate away. And not that he's dumb enough to take bad penalties, but you have to be in on him. If Darnell can get into it with him and kind of mess around with a bit, that'd be a real positive thing. But Ben he's irritating, he's physical, but he is the clear-cut leader of that team.
Well, he will take dumb penalties because he did cross-check Stone across the head last year and get suspended for 2 games. So he is prone. I watched the Colorado the hit he threw on Devon Taves. He just about killed him. And he's searching
such a huge hit.
Yeah, he's searching. He is. Well, you said it with your second name. He plays like Evander Kane. Yeah. He seeks out, and he doesn't. Some guys hit because you're supposed to hit. He hits to hurt. He hits to cause maximum damage. And I mean, being a Canadian, I love watching him play hockey. He's a great Canadian player. He plays it the right way. He's playing, as you talked about, Shogger, the 2 young kids playing up the lineup. They're playing up the lineup because they have a guy in Jamie Benn to play with that plays the right way, looks after them. They're 2 smaller players and make sure they have ice and room on the ice to play. But I think he will be the X factor for the Dallas Stars for sure.
Logan Stankoven, former Blazer alum, like the 3 of us. Small, but all kinds of energy. He's robust. He's a good player. It's really fun to watch him doing what he's doing. Let's wrap up this preview segment by hearing from the captain, Connor McDavid, on the upcoming matchup.
Oh, they're a great team too. It's the conference finals. You're gonna play a great team, and they certainly are. They're deep. They're as deep a team as you're gonna find in the NHL. 4 lines, 16 men. They got a great goaltender. It'll be a great test, but we're looking forward to it.
That sums it up beautifully. Brownie, great job tonight, my friend. We're going to let you go, and we've got lots more still ahead on the pod, but we're going to let you rip, buddy, and we'll chat in the next couple of days.
Sounds good. Go Oil.
Okay. See ya. The great Rob Brown. Zuby, I've lost track here. We got another commercial break, or are we going to roll right into Struddy's World?
No, let's go right to SW.
Right into Struddy's World. Looking forward to it tonight. Time now for Struddy's World. Brought to you by Shipwreck Rum. The Brindley family has been handcrafting their rum on the Caribbean island of St. Kitts for decades now. Got the music? There's the music. There we are.
I wanted to play the intro.
Oh, Struddy's intro?
Yeah.
That's okay. We're late into the night here.
All right.
All just do is laugh.
Oh, hang on. I have that. Oh, where is it? Now keep going. I'll get it in there later.
Okay. Their Shipwreck Vanilla is blended with natural Madagascar vanilla. Gives it incredible smoothness. Take one sip and you'll agree. It truly is a vacation in a bottle. Get Shipwrecked Oiler fans available at your local liquor retailer. As always, we ask you to please enjoy responsibly. Struddy laugh.
Nailed it. All right, let's get right into this. I think we've given a lot of
weird.
We've given a lot of love into Stuart Skinner, Bouchard, the penalty kill for sure, the coach of the penalty kill.
Oh boy, where are we going here?
A lot of people have gotten love. But I think we have to recognize someone who also grew, much like I think Bouchard and Skinner and McLeod will grow from the moments they had, which is Coach Chris Noblock. To start the series, to finish the series, the lines were not similar at all. There was massive change. We had people coming into the lineup, coming out of the lineup. We had the Fab Five playing together all the time, which, you could, I guess it got a win, but arguably didn't work. I think that to play against the Hawks, the Canucks, Chris Noblock found the perfect blend that was required for this group. When you sit back and look at the lines as they were tonight, to let's say start the game, end the game, whatever you want, he did a great job. He got it 100% right, and that was a lineup that was built right to beat the Stars. Going now against the Stars, I'm guessing the lines will start something like that, but they might not be built the right way to beat the Stars. They're built the right way to beat the Canucks. So obviously Henrique's a massive wild card in this whole thing. But it'll be interesting to see how he evolves, because I believe there was a lot of learning for him as well, and coaching, understanding how to make this work for his team against the team that's beat. And I was pretty impressed with that. So, 2 claps on the roof for Coach Noblock.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that, Struds. I like that. I do think there were some mistakes for sure. And I'm not sure which ones would be on him. I mean, I think as a team, with a veteran player like Adam Henrique, if he's telling you he can go and the doctors say he can go, I think you probably have to give him that nod. Clearly, he came back too early and it wasn't good. And it ended up costing him that decision. But again, you're listening to your doctor and you're listening to your player there. You could make the argument he waited too long to go to Carrick. I think that would be a fair piece of criticism there. And quite frankly, I have not loved the lack of expectation of playoff intensity from his players, physicality. I've asked him about it multiple times through the series. So there are a few things that I am kind of focused on and watching, but the number of things that he got right, I think dramatically outweighs the number, these little things that I'm kind of sitting here nitpicking. He made some really good calls, and he made some tough calls, and he put some lines together that worked. You're not going to get everything right. And then tonight, uncharacteristically calls a timeout. He never does that. So I like your point here, Struds. They weren't all right, but definitely got way more right than he got wrong.
And we have to remember, this is a rookie coach. He's been around a long time and he's won, some things as a coach, but this is a rookie NHL coach. And he's now going to be going against a guy in Dallas that has done a lot of playoff coaching. It's Pete DeBoer. He's done a lot there. Right? Oh, yeah. He's been around. He has a lot of experience. So, Chris is learning on the fly here. And I haven't really heard anyone talk about this before. And I think it was worth pointing out that he did grow in this series. And I expect him to continue to grow as he moves through another round of his first conference finals as a coach.
Some people are asking about the strange noise on the pod. This is my microphone. I apologize. It's rubbing at times on my collar. I'm doing my best, but a couple of complaints there. So sorry. That's not Zuby, though. That is me. Okay, let's get to our Ask Us Anything segment, because we just had amazing contributions on the podcast tonight here on the live stream. So cool to see so many people staying up this late and having some fun with us here on YouTube and on Twitter. Brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Happy hours better at Match Pub Ice District. Score 20% off Appies, half-price wine and other drink specials every day, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Located adjacent to Rogers Place in Grand Villa Casino, Edmonton. For more info, visit matchpub.com. Zuby, I don't want you to get to the results of your poll just yet, because we're going to make that the DeBoer's YouTube poll. So we'll do that a little bit closer towards the end. But go ahead with everything else, buddy. What's everybody saying?
Okay, cool. So somebody did just say they thought that I was sharpening a knife, and that's what that sound was.
Oh, yeah. No, it's this damn cheap headset. I got to get something better.
Pretty good line. Okay, J-Dub said Nuge was an absolute beast again today. He's now number 4 in playoff points in the league. Dry, McDavid, Bouchard, Nuge. Has Nuge in like 2 or 3 games here kind of destroyed that narrative of him maybe being, not such a great playoff performer?
Yeah, I mean, he's had some pretty big moments. Obviously, scoring the game-winning goal is important in a game 7. Like that's a pretty big thing. So yes, just that alone, I think it helps bring it. But I think I felt he was getting more towards the inside of the ice. Something we talked about against a big group of D. It's not easy. Now looking ahead at Dallas, got to maybe tweak it again. Not that you can't get to the middle of the ice, but these guys aren't going to beat you the same way. They're going to be more positional and more quickness geared rather than kind of length and taking up time and space for you.
I believe he is. So what was he tonight? He was 1-1 tonight with the game-winning goal, and then he was 1-2 last game. So with the season on the line, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins stepped up big time, did it at even strength, did it on the power play. Oh, and by the way, he's a massive part of an unbelievable penalty kill.
Great.
All 3 phases, first unit guy, first line, first penalty kill unit, first power play unit. That's pretty valuable for 5 and change.
Yeah, tell me about it. Mellotron says, here's hoping whatever bug is in the dressing room runs its course over the next 3 days. Connor, I don't know if you heard him live on the air on the broadcast post-game. He sounded awful. We've only really talked about Ekholm being sick. I think, can you confirm, Ryan? Do you feel like it's gone further in the room, and is it running its course?
I don't know. Who did you say sounded awful?
McDavid. He did a live on the broadcast right after the game. And
I think I think he was hoarse from yelling. I think
I agree.
Because by the time he did the main scrum, he sounded fine to me, Struds. I'm not saying he hasn't been sick, but
no, I would take it from that way too. You're yelling on the bench and trying to get everyone going and kind of get that dryness. Because you're right. When I heard him in the scrum, he sounded normal.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say there is sickness running through. They have 3 days here. They flew home tonight. I'm guessing nothing tomorrow. I'm just guessing, but nothing. So everyone stays away, get sleep, eat well, feel better. And then, they huddle up Wednesday for a practice. And I'm guessing, or some talk. Maybe they do have a meeting tomorrow. I'm guessing it'd be a day off. Start thinking about Dallas on Wednesday and then boom, Thursday. So yeah, it's going to happen quick, but they have a little bit of time here to kind of get themselves organized.
Zuby, let's get to the De Boers Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll, aiming to help you play better golf with fitting, instruction, after-sales support, and golf merchandise and clothing. Celebrating 25 years. Check out their pro shop style atmosphere. Located 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. Just an awesome atmosphere. Great place to round out your golf game. That is De Boers. You got that poll going early, Zuby. What were the fans saying? Predictions?
Yeah, so I said Western Conference final prediction, be honest. And so I had, you can only do 4 options. So it was Oilers in 4, 5, 6, 7, Stars in 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got Oilers in 6, 7 coming in, runaway winner at 73%, ton of votes, 462 votes. Stars in 6, 7 at 14%, Stars in 4, 5, 6%, Oilers in 4, 5, 5%. So still only 20% picking Dallas at all to win the series. So we got it. We have a somewhat of a biased fan base here, of course. But people are confident. The fans are confident after seeing how they rounded out this series against the Canucks. So that's pretty cool. And one other thing maybe we could just kind of put under this, I don't know if you guys want to comment on that, you can, but there was one other thing I thought we could put under the De Boers thing here, which Aussie Oiler had a good comment. Of course, this wouldn't go under De Boers. This will go under.
It's okay, bud.
You can use services. Aussie Oiler wants to know who's the Relentless player of the series.
Probably going to be Bouchard.
I'm going Bouchard, man. I'm going Evan
that'd be
Bouchard. Yeah, he leveled up. I'm serious. He took everything to another level.
Yeah, he was excellent. A very, very dark horse would be for me, Sam Carrick. I honestly think he came in and just gave the bottom 6 a little bit of punch, right? A little bit of physicality.
Hard when he only played a couple of games, though, to give him the Relentless player of the series. I'd go Holloway before I'd go him because he was engaged in the whole thing.
Dylan played pretty well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Couple more, Zuby.
Okay, sticking with, we talked about the coach and some of the difficult decisions he had to make. You probably saw the stat tonight, or maybe you knew already, that of all the players in this series, that Corey Perry had the most game 7s experience by a ton. He had 10 of them. I think the next closest anyone on either team had 4. So tough decision made there. Gabriella C wants to know, do you think Perry will draw back in? And if so, where is he kind of in like the pecking order of coming back in? Especially if you've got Henrique potentially pushing back in as well.
Corey Perry will come in after a loss. I think he will remain out to start the series. The team's played some of their best games. They've won 2 in a row. I don't think you change that lineup. I think Corey Perry sitting in the batter's box, in the on-deck circle. Shouldn't be doing baseball analogies. It's not my thing. But Struds, he gets in after a loss to me.
I have a hard time seeing him change this lineup before game 1. I think if Henrique comes back in at some point, I think that's a better complement for Perry. I don't think McLeod and Fogle and Perry fit together. And I get some stats. You can prove me wrong. I just don't see the three of them. I've said this before. I don't believe they're built to play together.
Yeah. All right, Zuby, one more, buddy.
Let's do a couple quick. We've got a couple on deck here. Austin Peterson said the ice time and blocks tonight impressed me the most. They talked about blocks a ton on the broadcast. I'm not sure we got too deep into that tonight, but I mean they were blocking pucks everywhere, and the whole team was in there. They were committed.
Yep, 21 total.
Yeah, everyone was doing it, and it's even if you don't block the shot, it makes the player change their plan. They have to shoot it around you or not shoot it at all, and you eventually get in the man's head. And you heard it from talking afterwards. He said, we need to work on that this summer, getting shots through. And I agree with him, but it's difficult when someone's standing in your way and willing to take a hit or a shot, I should say.
Okay. Steve Taylor wants to know, has Skinner truly been tested in this sort of this resurgence, this 2-game comeback? And I'll just tack onto that. What's your confidence level in him moving forward?
We need a nickname for that guy.
For who?
Steve. That's Steve. That's Steve Taylor. That's Stever.
Steve. I was like, we're giving listeners nicknames now?
I think you said it. Just Steve. It's just Steve.
Yeah.
That's not bad. He's just Steve.
That's a clubhouse leader for sure.
I like that. What's your confidence level in Stu Skinner in that going into this series? Has it changed? Has these last 2 games improved it, or just kind of the same?
Yes, it has. I think that Stu Skinner had a good year, right? And he had a little bit of wobble, and they changed goaltenders, and he came back and he was there for the 2 games they needed to win. So I think going in, he should feel good about himself, and he has probably one practice to maybe tweak a couple things again, or not tweak but refine. Then they're back on the ice, and he is going to be somewhat fresher than everybody else on the team because he didn't play those 2 games.
Thanks to Just Steve for his most valuable contribution to the pod this week. All right, Zuby's out.
Okay, this is just a statement. You could take it or leave it, and we trust all of our contributors to give us good information. But Ro Nelson said, did you know that Matthias Ekholm was born on May 24, 1990, the day the Oilers last won the Stanley Cup? Coincidence? I think not. I like that. That's a good little...
Wow. There you go.
That's a good little bit.
Not going to be our play of the day, though. Time for our play of the day, brought to you by Play Alberta. The playoffs are nuts. This time of year, Play Alberta is making it even crazier. Make a deposit with the promo code GYB50, and you'll snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. They got all sorts of great action on there. Lots to follow along with the Oilers. All kinds of different ways that you can throw a little money down if that's your thing. Check it out at playalberta.ca. Some bonus terms and conditions definitely apply. And as always, please play responsibly. Struddy, what do you have in mind for the play of the day, my friend?
4 minutes. 4-minute play. The penalty kill at the end of the first was massive. And it looked so good. They did such a good job. Everyone involved on the ice was just fantastic, except the goalie. Because the goalie, I don't think, did they have one shot? Maybe they had one shot.
No, they didn't get a shot on that 4-minute from what I could tell.
Incredible sequence, because that was a big moment in the game. Big moment.
So we got Mark Stewart, Relentless Player of the Day, and we got that penalty kill as the play of the day. Rob Brown saying it's the reason the Oilers won the series. Wow. That penalty kill. By the way, the special teams advantage remains the Oilers heading into the next round. Stars' penalty kill is 70%. Their power play is 29%. The Oilers with a significant advantage in both of those categories. I know it's a late one there for you, Struds. Thanks, buddy. We'll check in a couple of days.
Glad we made it. Made it through the third round. It's going to be fun to break this down against a good team.
If you need me, text Randine. I will be making my long journey home tomorrow. So I might not be. I'll be off the grid for quite some time.
My suggestion, don't look at where Dallas is until at least you get home.
No, I know it's going to be a grind, but it's going to be tons of fun, man. I'm pumped to be on the road for round number 3. Thanks to everybody that tuned in on our live stream tonight. Holy snap, what a great audience. Thank you so much. And if you're listening in podcast form, we appreciate you. If you get a chance, leave us a review over on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe on all of our platforms, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to us. Those subscriptions are definitely appreciated as well. Thanks to Sherwood Buick GMC, our title sponsor. Let's everybody go to bed, regroup. We got lots of hockey left to talk about. See ya.